Hi Libra, welcome to my channel. My name is Kem. Today, Libra, I'm going to be doing a love reading for you guys. So choose your energy. Right off the bat, I feel like this is the masculine, this is the feminine, but it can be reversed. Just choose which energy resonates with you most. So Libra, let's get into it. The connective energy between the two of you guys is be in the present and dream of the future. Number 40. And speak the language of love. Loving words have the power to change lives, including your own. When we dream, everything is possible. I feel like this is the feminine because the feminine is coming up with Arvel the parrot, and that has a lot to do with communication. What's interesting though is that I feel like this couple that I'm talking to is not necessarily communicating, right? I think the feminine really wants to communicate. I think this side's energy, it's honestly so weird what I'm getting, but what I'm getting is like you guys definitely communicate on the 5D, or some like there's definitely some sort of communication going by or being sent to this person, but on the 3D I feel like actual silence. I don't feel like you guys are talking on the 3D, but it's weird because I feel like with speak the language of love, maybe this feminine did say in the past things, did say beautiful things to this masculine, did really, I think this feminine might have been a person who always said the truth and always said how they felt, and, always told this person how much they meant to them, right? Or at least tried to. And I feel like with Arvel the parrot, even though you guys might not be speaking on the 3D, because I don't feel like this communication's on the 3D at all. Like, I feel like the 3D is silent. And I think that speaks louder than words sometimes, being silent. That's why it's a weird message, because I do feel like there is speaking going on, but not in the 3D. And then on the 3D, there's actual silence, which I feel like that it's happening for a reason, right? The feminine is silent for a reason. And I think, again, sometimes not speaking and silence is louder than words, because, I think when people stop speaking to you, or when people show you, that they don't really have anything left to say to you, that really puts a really big, I don't want to say the word pressure, but I think that says a lot, And I feel like the feminine has spoken in the past and has said how they felt and has left it at that. You know what I mean? Like the feminine was like, I said all I had to say and that's it, right? I do feel like the feminine wants to communicate in the 3D, but I don't think the feminine is trying to be the one that is in the masculine energy, chasing this masculine. I think the feminine's like, yeah, it would be nice to speak to you, and yeah, it would be great if you would want to reach out and you'd want to have like some sort of conversation, but if not, then I'm just going to go on with my life, because what the hell else am I supposed to do? And that's what I'm getting with this feminine. So I do feel like there was communication in the past where the feminine really spoke her mind, and I feel like the masculine knows how this feminine feels about them. So I feel like this is a relationship where the feminine has definitely spoken and said how they felt about this relationship and about this person. And then something happened along the way where, the two are not communicating. But I feel like what was said was really beautiful, right? Like you see how these two, they kind of look like twins. I feel like Gemini here, if you guys have Gemini in your chart. But yeah, I just feel like things were definitely said, right? And when you guys, I don't know how to explain this reading, but I definitely feel an energy of this feminine has definitely said everything that they wanted to say at one point, and then was just like, that's it, like silence. There was a time when these two spoke about their dreams, and their dreams were always like together. Like, oh yeah, I have this dream that we're going to be like this together, and I have their dreams included one another. It felt like their dreams were not just like, oh, the dream has me in it and no one else. It's like the dreams always had one another in each, you know what I mean? Like that's what the dreams feel like, my dream includes you, and the masculine's like, yeah, well, my dreams include you too, right? So I feel like that's been spoken about. That's what I'm getting. Like the intentions of both of these people have been spoken about. Now what happened along the way, they're not really talking about that right now, because I feel like we're moving forward, right? So even though I feel like a lot of silence in the 3D, I feel like that's going to be put to an end. But what's keeping this relationship, I feel, alive is what was said in the past. you know, what was spoken. And I feel like a lot of it had to do with this feminine who like may have like really spoken beautifully to this masculine, or may have really, I don't know, there's something that this feminine did that made this masculine feel like, yeah, you know, I have the same dream, you know, like I feel the same way. So that's why I'm getting with be in the present and dream of the future. This is more of the masculine energy, where I feel like, I mean, it's connective, but I feel like the masculine always felt like maybe they were alone in these dreams until they met this feminine. Do you know what I'm saying? So like the energy, you guys like help each other, right? It's like the masculine is thinking something and then the feminine says it. The feminine has this dream and then the masculine's like, oh, so do I, right? It's just complementing. And it wasn't like something that was imposed. You know what I mean? Like some people try, you know, when you start talking to someone and you realize like you have nothing in common with a person, or you have nothing, you know, you have nothing to say to a person, right? And like communication ends really quickly. I feel like that's definitely not what happened between these two people. These two people, you know, could be in silence and still felt okay, could be talking and still felt, you know, like what they had to say had meaning. So I feel like, again, I feel like this, I mean, it's reminding me of Gemini, but it could just be like a twin vibe, right? Like the two of you are just like two peas in a pod. The two of you just understand each other. And I feel like, again, even in this 3D, even though I feel like this feminine is not communicating at this time, and I don't think the masculine is either, I think that there's like a mutual understanding between the two of you. And it's like, maybe because it was spoken in the past, or maybe it's being spoken in the 5D and not in the 3D, but there's definitely this mutual understanding between the two of you that you guys have the same ideas for the future, right? There's something about the future, like, honestly, I think another thing I'm getting with this is that this masculine might try really hard to envision their future with other people, or might try to move on from this relationship to, you know, towards others. But it's really hard because when they think of their future, they don't think of anybody else. Do you know what I'm saying? Or they can't see somebody else in that role, right? So it's like, you know, they live with someone and they can't really see themselves living with someone else. Do you know what I'm saying? Same thing, I mean, that's what I'm getting mostly with the masculine. It's like, it's really hard to dream of the future and then not see this other person there. You know, it's like we already had this conversation. We already spoke about where it was that we were going to go together. So I think it's really hard for these two people. And what I'm getting with this is that I'm definitely getting this vibe though that the feminine energy's communication is like transform this. So I feel like the feminine might be some sort of like, again, maybe someone who's just very good at communicating, or someone who writes poetry, or someone who's like a writer, but this person is very, whatever they said to this masculine like has stuck to the masculine. And what I'm getting with this, now let's get to the masculine's energy. With Geo the slow, this means it's in reverse. So I feel like things are going to start speeding up in this relationship. I don't think there's going to be any more stalling. I don't think there's going to be any more, you know, I feel like these two people, they know each other, but they haven't seen each other for a long time. That's what I'm getting with this. Again, like there was communication in the past, and that led these two people to see that they have a similar idea of what the future should be, but then there was like an ending, right? So now I feel like with Geo the slow, they want to tell you that the masculine is speeding up. And with the Singer of Transfiguration, I feel like the transfiguration is like that this masculine has transformed, right? That this is a very powerful card. It is also an 11. So I feel like this person has transformed. This person has, it's like an alchemy, right? It's something that once it changes, it can't go back. And that's what I'm saying about these dreams. Like you can't envision one dream and then like have a dream and then say like tomorrow, like I have a different dream now. And, you know, I can fit someone else into this dream. Like, again, there's just a lot of these things about interchangeability in my reads now, where this masculine, I feel like, and even feminine energies try to like interchange people, and it's like, it's not possible, right? You have an idea of what you want, and either you find it or you wait until you do, you know? And I feel like the masculine is just understanding that, like, there is no interchangeability here. It either fits or it doesn't fit. It's like a key in a lock, right? Like a person either fits in your life or they don't. And you can't really impose, and it doesn't matter how much energy you impose on a relationship or a person. If they don't fit, they're never going to fit. And I feel like that's something that this masculine has figured out, maybe possibly the hard way. Now, this card came out sideways. So I feel like this person is not 100%, this masculine is not 100% ready, because yes, they have done this transfiguration, and yes, they are moving like very rapidly, but at the same time, I feel like, is that even a word? Very rapid. whatever, they're moving quickly, right? And with the Piper, number 24 or 6, this is someone who's trying to seduce, someone who might even make music, someone who is very, like, they know when to turn it on and how to turn it on, right? And they're like, once I turn this on and I go towards this person, this feminine doesn't stand a chance. Like this masculine, I feel like they're a little bit cocky. But I like that energy for them, because I feel like with the transfiguration, I see this cockiness not being as an ego cockiness where it's like, yeah, I get whatever I want. It's more of like, I know how to be real with this person. I know what this person wants. This person wants, you know, a real person, you know what I mean? Like someone who's going to be there every single day and every single night, someone that's going to be by this person's side. And that's what I'm getting with this, like this masculine energy is like, I know exactly what this person wants because I want the same thing. So I know exactly how to come in. So I feel like this person's going to come in very, very strong. Like they're not going to come in and just be like, you know, take their time. I feel like they're going to come in and give you 100%. And I don't think that this feminine has like any chance of resistance. I'm so sorry. Like there's just no shot. Like, I'm sorry, feminines. Like this person, when they come in, they're going to come in very, very like 100. You know what I mean? And there's nothing that you're going to be able to do about it. Because I just feel like they're going to, like, this energy is real. And at the same time, it's very powerful. And if they're putting all their intention into you, feminines, I just feel like they're not going to lose. You know what I mean? So if you feel like you're going to be able to resist this person, I just don't feel like that's going to happen at all. Like this person with the Piper, this is someone who knows exactly what they're doing. And I don't even feel like this person is full of shit. I feel like they're 100%, like they just know what this feminine wants. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys have had communication about this in the past, or if you're still communicating on the 5D, like there's been communication about what it is that the two of you need and what it is that you both want. So I think it's really easy for this person to come in and just be like, okay, I know how to read this person. I know how to read her. You know what I mean? I know how to read this feminine. And I think it's going to be really, like, I don't think they think it's going to be easy, but they know, like, if they give it 100, that it's going to work out. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like they're in preparation for that, because this card came out like this. They have done this transfiguration, but you know, it's a different energy to transform and be in like spiritual hermit mode versus coming out into the 3D and like pursuing a person, right? Like that's a totally different energy. So that's what's coming though, right? With this masculine and with this feminine energy. I think that the feminine energy has just been sitting, like, I see someone like sitting with the trees, like someone just trying to learn from their environment. Someone who's just trying to, you know, figure out what the hell is going on, what it is that they want, you know, what it is that, I feel like it's an energy of, you know, they say that the trees are the oldest, you know, things on this planet, and you can learn most from trees because they, you know, because the idea is like the older that you are, the more wisdom you have. So obviously trees would have the highest amount of wisdom, right? So I just feel like this feminine has been not only on a spiritual quest, but like learning. I feel like this feminine is someone who likes to learn a lot, right? With the oak men. This is someone who doesn't, you know, this isn't someone who just, how do I explain this person? This person isn't someone who, honestly, I feel like someone could be taking a job where they communicate more. Like, I think this person has a lot of talents, but I think that they go to waste because they're not necessarily in, like, this feminine energy feels very ethereal to me. Is that even a word? Like a fairy type vibe, like someone who, you know, they have a lot of talents, but on the 3D, it's like, how do you translate those talents, right? Like, this person is a beautiful speaker, but like, this person probably doesn't have a job in speaking or writing. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like with the oak men, this is someone who, I think they've just been trying to figure out what it is that they need to do to like bring their talents to life. I think they're just beginning to realize their talents, this feminine energy. Like, yeah, they left a big impact on this masculine, but at the same time, I feel like this person has a lot of things that they want to pursue themselves. And with the oak men, it's like they're learning about themselves, you know, and it's not only just themselves, they're learning about the world and seeing things a different way. And I just feel like this feminine energy really, I just feel a lot of learning with this person, like a lot of learning, a lot of trying to figure out what it is that maybe they should do next, especially with Penelope, the dream catcher, in reverse here. So I feel like this feminine, honestly, she might not, if this is you, this feminine, you might not be on, you might not know necessarily, or you might not be at the career that you're supposed to be in right now, or you might not be there yet. Like you think you've gotten there, but you might not be at your career yet. Because with Penelope, the dream catcher, I'm just getting like, you're onto something when it comes to like communication and writing and shit like that, but you're not there yet. Like they're trying to bring you to the right place, like the 3D, on the 3D. So how do I explain this? Like you're getting a lot of communication from, you know, your higher self and from the divine and from your angels, and you're trying to figure out like what it is that you need to do for yourself. Like I feel like this feminine energy has really just like, I don't think they've turned their back, but I think that they've just stopped communicating with this masculine because they have to focus on themselves. I feel like there's a higher purpose for this feminine energy, and I think again, even the feminine is trying to figure out what the hell it is. And I feel like with Penelope, the dream catcher, the dream weaver, sorry, I feel like with Penelope, you're not there yet. Like if you're the feminine, you're not there yet, or you're gonna be there soon, but you haven't received like the, you know, when you get published or something and it's a really big deal, and then that kind of says to everybody that you made it, right? I don't feel like you've had that kind of recognition in the 3D yet with the dream weaver in reverse. So I feel like the feminine is really trying to figure their own shit out here. Again, I think that your career, I don't know why I'm getting so much on career, but I feel like your career might have something to do with writing or communicating or speaking. So if you're the feminine listening to this, then I feel like those are, again, they could be turned into so many things, like writing a book, like singing, do you know what I'm saying? Writing lyrics, like it could just be so many things, writing poetry. You could be someone that does something in the realm of like what it is that your voice has to say. Do you know what I'm saying? But you'll figure it out. I feel like you're trying to figure it out with the Oakman, and that's why I like this training, because I feel like these two people are very separate, but at the same time, they're always together, right? Like these two people are always together. It doesn't necessarily matter. Like, yeah, the feminine is here trying to figure out something with career, and the masculine is here doing some sort of transformation, some sort of transfiguration. But that doesn't mean that the two of you don't think about each other. That doesn't mean that you guys have like said, oh, you know, we're not going to be in our the future together. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I need to figure my shit out and I'm figuring my shit out. But like, you still think about each other like every single day. That's what I'm getting with these two people. So yeah, feminines, don't give up. Like keep looking for what it is that, with Penelope, she talks a lot about go on all those creative pursuits. So like, you know, sometimes you try something, it doesn't work out. It's okay. Like keep try everything that, you know, gives you a burst of inspiration. Any type of creative endeavor at this time, I think, is a good idea. And that's going to lead you in the right direction. So the feminine energy. And for the masculine energy, they're just trying to figure out how to come forward to this feminine energy. Because I do think it's been a long time since they've spoken. So I feel like on the 3D, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I feel like in the 5D, and again, like the two of these people never stop thinking about each other. Do you get what I'm saying? So on the 3D, it might seem a little crazy. And I think that's something else that the masculine has to understand. It's like, you can't just go up to people and expect them to understand this kind of relationship, right? It's like, oh yeah, you haven't talked about that girl for like a year, so why are you bringing her up now? Well, technically I haven't talked about her, but that doesn't mean that I haven't been thinking about her. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's kind of the vibe that this masculine is going to be getting from a lot of people, because I don't think the masculine has really been speaking about what the hell's been going on. I don't think anybody, unless you like watch these readings, and unless you're like on this level, you're not going to understand shit. So this masculine telling people like, yeah, like I'm thinking about this person from whatever that, like however long ago that was, I think people are just gonna be like, what the hell? Like, yeah, I thought you two like never heard, you know, never spoke to each other again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a weird vibe, I think, on the 3D, but it's interesting because I feel like, again, these two just think about each other all the time. Like, it has nothing to do, and look, even with this card, like there's nothing of the 3D here. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not even on the 3D. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this connection defies all, it defies everything. Like, it has nothing to do, like the 3D constructs don't hold this relationship down. Do you know what I'm saying? I like this couple a lot. Let's pull what you guys need to get closer and like bring you guys into union, and what the both of you are feeling for one another at this time. So Libra, this is a really interesting read because I feel like the two of you are not able to, you're not able to forget about one another. The connection is still really strong, but I feel like you guys are at very different places. I feel like the feminine energy has already kind of gone through an awakening, right? They've already done this awakening. Look, with the Strength and Judgment, with the Five of Cups in reverse, the feminine energy isn't sad anymore about like what happened, because I feel like the feminine is already understanding about the connection, right? Like the feminine understands that it doesn't matter if you're not together on the 3D. It's like where you are with each other. I know this is corny, but like in each other's hearts. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the feminine knows that there's connection. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the 3D, you're not really seeing each other. It's again, I feel like you guys are communicating other ways. Again, on the 5D, through music, through like what you said in the past, like the connection is very strong, even though maybe the 3D doesn't mimic that, right? The 3D is a weird place though, so who cares? And I feel like that's what the feminine realizes, and the feminine is able to move on from that. You know what I'm saying? The feminine, that's why I feel like the feminine is just throwing themselves into career right now and figuring themselves out and understanding who it is that they are, right? And then with the masculine, I feel like the masculine is going through some sort of like dark night of the soul, right? So the masculine's behind the feminine. The masculine, again, and I always heard like the feminine always leads, and I'm getting that with this. Like the feminine is already at a good spot where they understand the depth of the connection, and it doesn't necessarily matter how much time has elapsed. It's more of a spiritual connection, right? And the masculine's in a place where I feel like they have this Five of Wands in the middle, right? So again, whereas the feminine is like enlightened and is understanding this connection and the right way, I feel like the masculine is blocked. And again, even though they might be going through this transfiguration right now, like that's what this seems like, right? Like this transfiguration is them coming out of the dark, right? And right now they're in the dark, right? With the Knight of Cups in reverse and the Star in reverse, like they can't see the light right now, but they're not supposed to be seeing the light. They're not supposed to be seeing the connection the way that the feminine sees it. They're supposed to, it kind of feels like a hangman mode with the Five of Wands. Like they're supposed to be stopped here in midair, right? Like we're going to stop this person in midair because this person has to really, I mean, what is working on your shadow? What is like the dark night of the soul, right? It doesn't feel good. It's probably like the most depressing and painful time of your life, right? It says like, it's like dying, right? The dark night of the soul is like basically dying and then being rebirthed. So I feel like that's what's going on with this masculine, right? But they will come out of this again as the Piper. But remember, this came out sideways. Like they're not here yet. So again, I feel like they're not, this is to say that they're here in this transfiguration right now. They're in the dark and they will emerge from the dark. But again, the dark night of the soul is basically like going through some sort of death process. I think that is why Geo the Slow's in reverse, because there's finally movement on the masculine side, but the masculine's movement, I think they wanted to move, and what they ended up doing is going into the dark night of the soul, which is definite movement, right? Like we know what that means. That's movement, that's progression, but that can take a long time, you know? That could take a long time. So let's see. The masculine says, I can't reach out. I miss seeing you. And we both know I'm not the one for you. I'm getting this like back and forth. I feel a lot of guilt. I feel like these two people are like empaths, like serious empaths, the masculine and the feminine. With I can't reach out, I feel like this is like some guilt speaking, right? Like I can't reach out, like I can't, like I'm not worthy of this connection, right? Like I don't think the masculine feels like they're worth this feminine. Like we both know I'm not the one for you. I feel like this masculine just doesn't feel worthy, right? Like they don't feel worthy of this feminine because they're in the dark night of the soul, right? In the dark night of the soul, you feel like shit. I mean, if you guys have done the work in the dark night of the soul, you feel, I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's like a death. you feel like shit. Like you don't, again, of course you don't feel like you're worth seeing anybody. Like you're in bed all day, or you're, you know, you want to be in bed all day. Like it's not a fun time for anybody. And for this feminine on this side, I feel like the feminine, let's see, I know I messed up everything. I'm not available. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. I think that the masculine feels like the feminine's not available, right? I'm not available. I think the feminine is throwing themselves into work and throwing themselves into like themselves, right? Which is exactly what you should be doing, especially with the enlightenment, right? Judgment. You should be throwing yourself into what it is that you need to be doing for yourself, right? Like that's what you learn, right? Through the spiritual journey. Like you can't change anybody, but you can change yourself. So the feminine's already there, right? Working on themselves, trying to figure their shit out. Again, looking at careers, I feel like a lot of career here, but they know that this was a spiritual lesson. I think I'm not available is the way that the masculine sees the feminine, because the feminine is not reaching out. You know what I mean? The feminine hasn't said anything. You know, it's like, you know, throw me a bone, and the feminine hasn't, because again, the feminine has already gone through this enlightenment, right? I know I messed everything up. I feel like, again, there's just an empathic vibe between the two of you. It's like, you know, I'll put all the blame on me if we could just be back together. Not in like a, not in like a nasty, you know, let's put the blame all on me type vibe. I just think it's like, you know, like not in a 3D type of way. It's just like, it doesn't matter whose fault it was. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, the love matters more than like why we got separated. That's what I'm getting with these two people. Like there's just an empathic vibe. Like empaths, you have to be careful, because like you can get into guilt very easily and stay there for a long time and put blame on yourself. And I feel like that's where this feminine was until they reached this type of enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh, it was all my fault. Again, that's the dark night of the soul. Right? I know I messed everything up. I'm a terrible person. I don't deserve you, right? That's where this masculine's at right now. So this spiritual journey, there was a Leo reading like this, but Leo's was like, whoa, on another level. This one seems, again, I think like we're skipping a lot of the spiritual journey and we're just here right now. Like the masculine's in the dark night of the soul, the feminine's already done that. Do you know what I'm saying? So we don't really have to rehash the whole spiritual journey. Whereas in that Leo read that I did like a month ago, that shit was like from A to Z. The spiritual journey was terrible. I mean, if you know what the spiritual journey is, you know like how hard it is, right? And I feel bad for this masculine because they are at the dark night of the soul, but at the same time I'm really happy for them because it's like it's progression, you know what I mean? There's movement. And I feel like it's taking them a long time to get into this transfiguration mode, right, where they actually want to change. So with the 6 of coins in reverse, I feel like there's something that triggered both of you guys' ego from one another, which is what really starts this spiritual journey. And this is the dark night of the soul, right? This 5 of coins. This is like, I'm not worth anything. I messed up. I'm, you know, whatever, a piece of shit. Like, I don't deserve anybody. That's this mode of the masculine right now. The feminine's already done this. You know what I mean? The feminine leads. And with the 9 of coins, I do see like the story is about someone who plants one watermelon and then one day has a field, right? Like has a forest, not forest, but you know, a farm of watermelons. Like from one seed can come like an entire abundance, an entire farm. And what I'm getting with this is that's what happened for the two of you. Like from one seed, from just meeting each other, right? From like speaking to one another, you guys like triggered something in each other, right? And that's how this spiritual journey got started. And again, even though the triggering sometimes is hard and the triggering, you know, it triggers your ego, right? It's two beautiful things. It can trigger your shadow, but it can also trigger, you know, your heart. And I feel like, you know, for some time it can trigger your heart, but then again, the spiritual journey is all about that ego and that shadow, and like, have you worked on it? Have you done the work? So I think that's what they're trying to say with this 9 of coins. It's like from one little seed will come all of this, but you have to believe and you have to do the work, right? Like, yeah, all this farm can be full of watermelons, but who's the one that planted all the watermelons, right? Who's the one that like intended to them? Who's the one that watered them? Who's the one that, you know, made sure they're getting enough sun? It had to be you guys, right? So they're saying like, again, I think something beautiful can be birthed from this relationship, but it's not an easy process. It takes a lot of work. And I feel like that's exactly what this is. Like the feminine already finished this and is in this enlightenment, and it's just, you know, look, they're not sad anymore, right? Because they understand the true value of what this was. Yeah, exactly. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. Done. Now we're at the masculine. The masculine's in the dark night of the soul. And it's a really beautiful thing. I mean, I know the dark night of the soul sucks, but it's a beautiful thing because they're going to come out like this freaking fox. I'm getting like a fox vibe with this person. They might have like a spirit animal that's like a fox. I get this person can be very... I'm not getting sneaky. I feel like a fox. I love foxes. I don't think they're portrayed as like these sneaky animals that, you know, whatever, they steal all the eggs on the farm and shit. I feel like once this masculine comes out of this dark night of the soul, you know, then that's when they'll be ready. But they're in the dark night of the soul right now, which I think is really beautiful. It even makes sense here with the two cards, right? Like the feminine I felt like was on this side with the light, and then the masculine was here in the dark, right? And you can see the two moons, right? So you guys are like in the same place, but not really, right? It's crazy. But yeah, exactly how I was saying, how the feminine is like talking to trees and shit and trying to figure out like something about career, what it is. I think that there's definitely a creative pursuit that this feminine should be taking, because there's something that this feminine has to offer the world that I feel like, again, makes a lot of sense if they're like some sort of starseed or an old, you know, or an earth angel or some shit, you know, like that. It doesn't make sense on the 3D. It's like, how do you transmute all that power from whatever world or whatever time you came from to this now present time? I think that's very complicated. Right? It's like if you used to do poetry 2,000 years ago, like how do you transmute that into today's present day, right? Like who even reads poetry now, right? I love poetry, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard. It's hard. So don't give up, feminines. And don't worry. I feel like this person, they're gonna figure shit out, but they're in the dark night of the soul, and I think that's where they should be for a while. So I feel like even though you want to communicate with them, keep doing it on the 5D, but don't do it on the 3D. Let them figure their shit out. You know, you don't want to stop this process, and you don't want to stop this growth. I feel like this feminine already knows that because they're not communicating. So anyway, I love you guys so much. I hope this reading resonates, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.